In this video, we're going over the bottom-up 3D approach of best time to buy and sell stock for. So let's go over the thought process. So let's convert the top-down memorization approach to a bottom-up approach. Now, where do we start? In the memorization approach, we have cached the current the current index, the current state, and the number of transactions with the maximum amount of profit. This means we can create a 3D matrix profit to keep track of the maximum amount of profit for all combinations of I, S, and K. Now let's go over the pseudocode. So we're going to create a 3D matrix profit, and then the x-axis represents I, the y-axis represents S, and the z-axis represents K. And then the values represent maximum profit. Then we're going to iterate through the indices from nums.length or prices.length -1 to 0. Denoted as I is the current index that we're processing, and then we iterate through the states from 1 to 0. Denoted as S. Do not forget that 0 is going to buy, and then 1 is going to sell. Then we iterate through the number of transactions from 1 to K, denoted as, we can just call it J. Now, if our current states, if S is equal to 0, we're currently in the buy state. So we have two choices. We can buy at the current price or just skip the current price. And then we want to pick the maximum amount of profit from both choices. So I'm going to set profits ISJ to the larger value between, if we buy the current stock, if we buy the current price, then our index goes to 1, and then the states go back to goes to 1. Because we're currently in a buy state, we buy a stock, it's going to go to the sell state. So we go to 1. The number of transactions stay the same because we need to buy and then sell in order to decrement the number of transactions we have left. And then we also need to subtract from prices I because we bought the current stock. So the amount of money we currently have decreases. And also the maximum profit, we just skip the current stock. So we just move our index forward. Else, if this means S is equal to 1, this means we're currently in the sell state. This means we also have two choices. We can sell at the current price or just skip the current price. And then we want to choose the larger value between the two choices. So I want to set the profit ISJ to the larger value between, if we currently sell at the current price. If we sell at the current price, our index moves forward. Our state go back to 0 because we're currently in the sell state. If we sell a stock, we have to go back to the buy state. And then the number of transactions decreases by 1 because we buy and then sell. And then we need to increment by the current price because we sold at the current price, so we gained that much money. And then the second choice is if we just skipped the current stock, so we just move the index forward. Then we can return profit 0, 0, and K. This is the maximum profit if we start at index 0 with a state of 0. This means the currently buy state and K available transactions. Now let's go over the time and space complexity. For the time complexity, we get of 2 times n times k, so it's just equal to nk, where n is the length of the prices and k is the input value. This is because of our nested for loops. And our space complexity is also the same. This is because of our profit matrix. Now let's go over the code. So we're going to create our 3D matrix. The x-axis represents the current index, and then the y-axis represents the number of states, so we get 2 states. And then the last one is the number of transactions. And then we're going to iterate through the indices first. Then we're going to iterate through the states. Then we're going to iterate through the transactions. And then if our current states is equal to 0, we're currently in the buy state, so we have 2 choices. We want to buy the current stock, or we sell the current, or just skip the current stock. We'll pick the choice that will give us the higher amount of profit. So if we buy the current stock, we move our index forward. The state goes to 1, because we're currently in the sell states, and then transaction stays the same, and then we need to decrease by the current stock price. Also, if we skip the current stock, we just move our index forward. Else, we're currently in the sell state, so we can sell the current stock or just skip the current stock. If we sell, our index moves forward, our state go back to 0, the buy state, and then the number of transactions we have left decreases by 1, and then we increase by the current price. Or if we just skip the current price here, then we can return the profits if we start from index 0 with a state of 0 and k transactions. Let me know if any questions in the comment section below.